Hello everyone, and welcome to another English with Joseph. Well, as you can see, there's traffic whizzing past me here. I'm on Carrer de Sants, which is one of Barcelona's main and busiest streets here in Barcelona. So sometimes the traffic is quite heavy, quite busy. So there may be moments when it will be more difficult to hear me. Okay, so someone asked me today, can I explain a bit more about the shadow method and also who is a good person to shadow with. So who can I recommend as a good TV personality or radio personality that you can shadow with when using the shadow method? Well, there isn't an easy answer to that. I think first of all you have to decide whether you're looking for an American accent or an English accent, because the shadow method is all about sounds, it's not about words. And remember, those of you who watch many of these vodcasts, we're living in a time when intellectualism in academia and what you can cram into your mind is celebrated as meaning intelligence. But you know, some of the most gifted people that I've known couldn't read or write. And also, you must remember that not so long ago, even 100 years ago, literacy rates were, amongst many classes, countries and people, zero. So this idea of academia is a new thing, and it has nothing to do with learning a language. Of course, as academia has increased and intellectualism has increased, the language has been classified, especially grammar, into different sections, so it can be studied using the eyes and the brain. But our old people knew the importance of demonstration. They knew the importance of practicality rather than studying things. And one of the problems with today's society is everyone talks, but no one actually does anything. One of the examples I gave in one of my vodcasts last week. I really hate it when they do that. They kind of like drive up onto the pavement. It's so annoying. And I really don't understand why these motorcycles have to be so noisy. But one of the examples I gave last week is if you see someone, for example, who's homeless on the street, and you think, oh dear, a homeless person on the street, I really must get a committee to look at that when I'm at work next week so that I can help that person. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe you are helping in the long run, but that person needs help. So why not just give him a few pounds to buy him some dinner, rather than actually wait until next week. And this is the society we're living in, where everything is spoken about but little action is taken, at least not immediately when it has to be. And I say all of this to prove my point that spoken English is not something you can learn from a book, and it's not something you can plan into your diary. It's something you simply have to use. Now, let's go over the shadow method again, because I'm always talking about it, and those of you who know me know that I love this, okay? So the shadow method is all about listening to sounds. So the more academic you are, the more difficult you're going to find this, because it's so simple. And all it is you simply have to listen to a newscast, podcast, call it what you like, cast, and repeat what you hear, but not just repeating words, because there's really no growth in just repeating words. You need to listen and imitate. For For those of you who are more advanced in English, it may be an idea just to pretend that you don't know anything in order to free yourself so that you can just speak the sounds. But really, it is the sounds that you're looking for. Some people say to me, oh yeah, but I don't understand anything. Yeah, you're not supposed to understand anything. Children don't understand anything when they're trying to learn how to speak. So, you listen to a podcast, and if all you hear is ba, say it. Just say what you hear. It's about learning the 50 sounds that there are in English. Even though there's millions of words, there's actually only a handful of sounds. And once you have them, you have the key. And also with the shadow method, you can pick up on pitch and tone, which I won't go into now, but you can find details about it in the other vodcasts here. And it covers all other types of things as well, like breathing. You can hear how other people breathe. Honestly, I really don't understand Spanish people sometimes. It's like no one ever rushes in the city. Everyone just casually walks along. And I don't walk fast, so they're obviously not walking fast at all. I don't understand that. Anyway, I'm just talking again about the shadow method and about the importance of leaving aside what you know and simply practicing your speaking. It really isn't difficult, but it takes a little bit of practice. Okay, so getting back to my point, who is the best person to shadow with? Well, there's many fabulous celebrities around that you could do this with, and very nice speakers, many of them, but it depends on you. First of all, you have to decide, okay, where am I traveling to, America or the UK? Because America is very into power speaking, diaphragmatic breathing. You know, that's why they have all those powerful rock songs where they they sing from their chest, you know. So one of the first things you have to say to yourself is, well, why am I learning, and which is influencing me, American English or British English? Because whatever you shadow, of course, is going to affect the kind of sounds that you end up with. So there's something to think about there. So almost certainly you should begin by saying, okay, American English or British English, what do I want? I'm not sure I can help you with American English, but I can certainly give you some advices about British English. There's a fabulous website which covers the American sounds and British sounds. I don't have the details with me to give to you. It's on a site called Anti-Moon. Maybe I can give it to you if you drop me a line and ask for it. It's little things, like remember, for example, Americans don't have the ah sound. You know, in British English we have ah for apple. In American English it would be apple, because they only have the a sound. It's things like this which make a difference. So after you've decided who you're trying to sound like, you know, whether it's going to be someone British or someone American, you can then choose the person. There's a lovely newscaster on the BBC. I'm sure you can find her on YouTube, or you can find her in different places. I think she works in one of the independent radio stations now. It's Charlotte Green. Charlotte Green has one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard, and she's been broadcasting for 30 odd years, I think. So you need to 30 odd, by the way, we sometimes say odd. It's an English term to say around. So rather than just say 30 years, it might be 32, 33. We say, oh, 30 odd years. That means around 30. It's an idiomatic thing. It's got nothing to do with odd numbers. Anyway, so that's one way you could do it. You could listen to Charlotte Green. She has a beautiful voice, really, if you can find some BBC podcasts. Any of the newscasters on the BBC, especially in the morning time on the Today programme, you find have very beautiful voices, and they're trained to speak the Queen's English. So that's another very good option. So that's really all I wanted to say to you today about the shadow method. Charlotte Green is probably one of the best ones. Look up the Today programme on BBC Radio 4. Most of the BBC radio stations have very nice presenters. BBC Radio 1, I'm not so sure anymore. I think it's more about music anyway. And another very polite station is BBC Radio 3, but it's classical music. And speaking of classical music, I think yesterday was the first night of the proms. I don't know if any of you know about BBC proms, but it's a yearly festival which has been going on since 1895. So if you like classical music, you certainly will like proms. If you Google BBC Night of the Proms, Night at the Proms, you get it. You should be able to hear it live, or at least the replay, wherever you are anyway, if you like classical music. I'll certainly be listening because I love classical music. Okay, so anyway, I'm kind of digressing. So I wish you all a very, very peaceful day. Thank you and goodbye.